everybody. Victor Brooks of the Victor Brooks Show Quarantine Series, Victor Brooks Facebook Live Quarantine Series. It's Saturday. It's the weekend, and you know what time that is. It's time for our positiveness that we try our best to throw out to you every weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to say that since we've been doing this, and you know, it's a trip. I was talking to our co-producer, Wendy, not earlier today, and you know, it really, our Positivity Posse campaign has not been really that long. It's only been a few months, but the reception worldwide that we've been getting, the soulful endorsements that we've been getting from around the world of people that we're now calling our Positivity Posse crew, I'm going to say it's a blessing because that's where I come from. That right there, to be able to give what we are trying to do in these times, the coronavirus and how it's affecting the world, the senseless murders that are happening here. And it's not the first incident, but it's the generational continuation. So many things that are continually bombarding us at this time of life. But in our humble way, we are always just trying to say there's always something we can count a blessing about. There are blessings seen and unseen. There's a positiveness in our life just waking up in the morning, you know? And thank you for letting us come and share this with you, that you take your time, you know, that out of your day to join us. And we've had some incredible interviews, some amazing artists that come on and tell their story. You know, in the past couple of weeks, we had Clifton Davis and comedian David Arnold, Larry Dotson of the Barkays, and the list on and on. You know, we started it with my big sister Wanda Vaughn, you know, who blessed us with her story of her journey with her and her sisters, of the amazing positiveness that their songs and their music is, emotions. We're still smiling and grooving to that to this day. Our kids are going to continue to do that. That's positivity that we're bringing on. I want to also send out as I do every time, my condolences to family members who are firsthand dealing with this corona situation, either through illness at this time or unfortunately death over the time. We want to give our shout out to our first responders, our doctors, our nurses, our ambulance drivers, all the way down to our truck drivers. Not all the way down, but all the way, we have a list. Our truck drivers, our teachers, our students who are learning a new way to keep this education going with our students. Thank you all. Thank you all. And I got to tell you today, I'm on cloud 9, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, I'm going to tell you why. You know, because if you know Vic Brooks, you know that I really believe in my spiritual connection. You dig? It's brought me through a lot. It's changed me a lot. And it's here that I can give this positivity best I can to you. And the guest we have today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start like this. This lady is a 100% charter member of the Positivity Posse before we even coined that phrase, Positivity Posse. Miss Shanice Wilson has always been a Positivity Posse member. Just from the song that about a smile, because we love her smile. Her smile says it all. That is the moniker for Positivity Posse that we have loved and respected over the years of her career. Multi-talented songwriter, singer, Broadway, television, Grammy-nominated performer. Shanice Wilson is who I'm talking about. She hit the stage all the way back around 9 years old, and she's going to tell you this. I mean, doing her part of sharing her artistry with the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Shanice Wilson. Miss Shanice, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I know that you must get this so often because the song "I Love Your Smile" coincides with your smile. Do you get that a lot? Well, what do people say to you?
I do. You know what? I co-wrote "I Love Your Smile" with Narada Michael Walden and his team. And I actually came up with the title. And the reason why I came up with that title is because I used to get teased a lot in school because the kids they would say, "Why are you always smiling? You always smiling." So when I was working with Narada, we started the writing process. He was like, "Do you have any titles? You know, what do you want to talk about? Do you have any song titles?" And I wrote down, "I love your smile." And the reason, and I thought about it because people always I said I smiled all the time. So that's how it came about.
Well, see, you know what?
Yeah.
That goes along with what I was saying about, just that connection that your fans, your millions of fans for your career have always put together with you, Let's go all the way back to 9 years old. 9 years old.
Yeah.
Well, let me first say Pittsburgh born and LA raised.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to say it? Pittsburgh born.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Pittsburgh, and then at the age of 8 years old, my mom and my aunt and my dad, when I lived in Pittsburgh, had a singing group together. Mm-hmm. My mom and my aunt wanted to move to either New York or California to pursue their singing careers. So they decided, oh, we'll go to California. So we got on the Greyhound bus and went from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to California. And when I got off the bus, Auntie Wanda is the one who picked me up from the Greyhound station. So she was the very first person I met from the Emotions. Yeah, Wanda Vine from the Emotions. Yeah, the legendary Emotions picked me up from the Greyhound station at 8 years old. I was like 8 years old when I got off that bus. So, like from the time I got off the Greyhound bus at 8 years old, it was just magical from that day on. It's just like, wow, I was so excited. She was the first celebrity I ever met. I was an Emotions fan. Like since I was born, I grew up listening to the Emotions. So to meet her in person at the Greyhound station, I was starstruck. And she's been my auntie ever since. So I just have to give a shout out to my auntie Wanda.
Hey, you know what?
Because she literally huh?
No. Go right ahead. Go right. I'm looking at all this love.
No, I'm saying she like really plays she really as far as like, she picked me up and I've always been inspired by her. I grew up. That's the way I learned I didn't know how to harmonize until I listened to Emotions. I could sing a little bit of leads here and there, but like singing leads and harmonizing is like two different things. And some people can't harmonize. Anyway, I learned a lot from Auntie Wanda. So I just had to give her a shout out for that.
Oh, much respect, girl. You know what? Hey, I feel you. Hey, you know what? To this day, I go back and rehearse my harmony ear to a lot of those Emotions hits the same way to this day.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what?
And the music is still, even though the music was recorded years ago, it's still, like you said, it never gets old. Like that, their songs are gonna live forever. Like it doesn't sound dated or anything like that. Like it still sounds fresh and it's still hot and people are still inspired by them. So a lot of groups learned from them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? What happened at 9 years old with little Shanice? What did you automatically jump into? I know you had commercials. I know there was stage. Tell us what happened.
So what happened was when we moved to California, I wanted to sing too. I'm like, I want to sing as well. So my mom found me a commercial agent and I started going out on auditions. My very first audition I went out on was Kentucky Fried Chicken. I got to scat with Ella Fitzgerald in the Kentucky Fried commercial when I was 9 years old.
Now, did you know Ella Fitzgerald was at that age?
At that age, I didn't. My mom and everybody was so excited that I had gotten the part. They knew then how, she was a legend. And I didn't know, but I knew she was a really nice lady. And then my mom started playing her music for me. And I was just blown away when I heard her voice. But that was like my first big television opportunity was with Ella Fitzgerald at 9 years old. So at an early age, I knew I was never, my mom was never a stage mom. I was never forced to sing. I really wanted to do it. Yeah. And it's just from 9 years old, it just started happening. 11 years old, I signed my first record deal at 11. I was singing in a musical called Get Happy, and the musical was about the music of Harold Arlen and John McClane, who is now over Michael's whole estate, discovered me. He heard me singing in the musical. I won Star Search at 11, and then I got my record deal at 11. I was singing in the musical, and Jon signed me like immediately after he heard me in the show.
So right off, this is incredible. So literally right off of the bus, right into the hands of a soul queen legend herself.
Yes.
Then right into Kentucky Fried Chicken, not only your first commercial, but with Ella Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Years old. Then from there, we're going on to a musical.
Yes.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yes. Well, so, I gotta say this. Before I did the musical where I got discovered, after the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, my mom used to take me to this place called Inner City, which it was on Saturdays. You go there and you do acting, dancing, just all those classes, right? Okay. So after I did the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, Chip Fields, who is Kim Fields' mom, she put me on stage for the first time. I was in a play she did called In Command of the Children. I was about 9-10 years old then. And Kim Fields was in the play, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Teresa Randall, it was some amazing actors before the Cosby Show. So when at a young age, I was just getting all these great opportunities was just coming my way.
Now, had you had any acting classes or anything before that, or this is just straight out raw?
No, I learned from Chip Fields. Chip Fields taught me and put me on stage when I was a baby. So she taught me how to act.
You know what? There's a story about you singing "Tell Me Something Good." Is that tell me about that story? Chaka Khan's here.
So, I sang a couple of songs. "Tell Me Something Good" was one of the songs that my mom had a cassette. And she recorded me at 7 months. And the reason why we know how old I was, because she talked in the cassette recorded herself. She said what year it was. She said what time it was on the cassette. And I couldn't talk, but I could sing "Tell Me Something Good" by Shaka, the melody. And I was singing "Benny and the Jets" by Elton John and "Jungle Boogie" by Cryin. Those are my three. Those are the first songs that I learned how to sing. I had the melody at 7 months. I had the melody down pat, but I couldn't, say the words correctly.
I got
but you. The melody was on point.
Come on. Now let's go to around 13 or 14. You got a phone call from the baddest pop of all time, right? Michael Jackson gave you the phone call. You got to fill us in on that.
Okay, so this is the thing. So when I signed. And remember I told you John McClain, who is now over Michael's whole estate, when I signed to A&M, I told him, I said, my dream is to, at 11 years old, I told him, my dream is to meet Michael Jackson.
Okay.
So he knew that I wanted to meet Michael. When I came out, I didn't meet Michael until I was 14, because when I came out with my Discovery album, which was in 87, Michael loved my song, No Half Steppin'.
That's right.
So they surprised me, and I just gotten home from school, and the record company said, somebody wants to meet you today. And I'm like, who? And they had a limousine pick me up, and I went to meet Michael at his Moonwalker video shoot. And I went, I sat in his trailer. We talked for a good hour and a half, and
wow,
it was the best day ever. He was super sweet, super down to earth. He told me every night before he went to bed, he danced to my song, No Half Steppin'. And
what? Go ahead, Shanice. Oh, that's fantastic, man. Now, what did that do, having that experience, and then at that age, and then we all remembering, those of us who remember the integral sides of the music industry at that time, when you walked out of that trailer, and Shanice's, all of your accomplishments, that's why I went back to back just now, because Miss Shanice, you were hitting it. I mean, I'm going to use the term blessed and highly favored from the get-go. Boom, 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 boom. And then during that time of the entertainment industry, I mean, that must have been an incredible feeling. When did it hit you finally? Did it hit you coming around that time that, hey, you know what? I got something's happening here. What was going through your mind at that time?
Well, at that time, I screamed like a fan. Like I was just,
Right.
I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening. And so I kind of fanned out a little bit, but I think that the first time I heard my song on the radio, that's when it hit me that, wow, wait a minute, this is really happening. Like, and that's when it hit me, when I heard the very first time I heard my music on the radio. Gotcha. Is when I knew, okay, this is really happening. Like it dawned on me.
It dawned. And because that's one thing a lot of your fans say they respect about you as well, is your approachability. You're a person that relates to your fans, to your community. Why is that so important? Why do you think that's so natural for you to do? What is that people connect with you about?
I think it's natural for me because I'm just being me, like even when I had a #1 record all over the world with I Love Your Smile, Grammy nominated stuff, I never felt any different than anyone else. I'm like, okay, singing is what I love, but I'm still, I didn't feel like I was better or, I didn't feel like a so-called celebrity, Mm-hmm. So maybe people can sense that. Maybe, yes. I couldn't. So I've always just kept it 100, like just completely real.
Fantastic, and you know what? I consider it a blessing to have been able to be around a lot of people like Muhammad Ali and others who have a status of thing. And one thing I always remember them telling me at a young age is, hey man, because I remember watching Muhammad Ali go people, he would stand there and sign autographs. He would stand and take pictures for I've seen him like for almost an hour or so sometime, just doing that. And then people of that stature in this industry have always said the same thing you just said. If it wasn't for what I'm trying to give the people, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm giving much respect for that, Miss Shanice. And that's what your fans have felt and feel, much respect. And so now let's go to Les Miserables, Broadway.
Yes.
Now, when you left us just now, you were coming out of Michael Jackson's conversation and introduction. Now we're going to Broadway. How old were you then?
Now, see, now you're okay. I Love Your Smile was before Broadway. So by the time I got to Broadway, I was, I was a grown up then. That was like in the
right on. Okay.
But now, before Broadway.
Okay. No, go right ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No. We have a delay. It's a delay in this technology, but that's all right.
Now I was gonna say, but I can talk about Broadway, but there was more things that happened before.
Please give it. That's yes, please.
But I was with A&M Records. I left A&M, went to Motown. Joe Busby signed me to Motown, and I was 18 years old when I recorded I Love Your Smile. Mm-hmm. That went, and the funny thing about I Love Your Smile is I didn't want them to release that as a first single. I thought I Love Your Smile. I thought, even though it was a song that I co-wrote, I said, but it's just so happy. I said, people are gonna think I'm corny, and I said, they're gonna think I'm corny. And the record company, Joe Busby, said, nope, I'm not changing it. I'm releasing it. And I literally I was sitting in his office with tears in my eyes because I said, no, that's not the right song. So cut to, he didn't listen to me, thank God. He put it out #1, like 22 countries.
That's right.
And it was like the biggest song ever. So then I signed, so I did that project with Motown. After I left Motown, Richard J. Alexander, who was the producer of Les Miserables, he saw my I Love Your Smile video and he reached out to me. He was like, I want you to play Eponine. I want you to play Eponine. The first time he reached out to me, I think I was doing a lot of touring. So I was like, I can't do it right now, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So finally I found the right time. I said, okay, this is the right time. And I did it. And I remember it was the best experience ever. It's a lot of work. You do 8 shows a week.
Okay.
The show is a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
It is no joke, but it was great for me. And at the time, I was going through a really sad breakup. And I remember my character was really sad, So it actually helped my acting because I was like really feeling down at that moment.
Right, right. Hey, once again, there's that positivity thread we can always find.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I was the first African American to play Eponine in Les Miserables.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, sister. Congratulations, you know. I mean, and what I'm loving, and I'm watching this feed here, there's so many details that you're sharing with us that you know, a lot of people, you're giving us the Shanice-ness of why we love your career and you so much of what it is. Now, with doing Les Miserables, was there a singing style that you had to, like an operatic type of a thing, or what did you do that was different with your artistry, or that you found out, hey, I have a talent for this too? You know,
right.
What was that about?
It was definitely different than singing R&B and pop music. It had like a, you know, a little taste of a little bit of opera, like you said, in it. And the way I had to pronounce my words was totally different than how I would normally say things. So they would give you, after every show, they would give you notes. You have to take notes after every show. And they had to coach me on how to sing it. So it was definitely a little challenging, but I got it.
You got it.
It was great.
Right on, right on. You know, I'm wondering now, because now when did the LaFace connection, the LaFace Records relationship begin, and what happened during that time?
To be honest, a lot of people don't know this, but I was originally signed to Arista. Clive Davis signed first.
Really?
And,
okay.
Yeah, before I got on LaFace, I was signed to Clive, and I was so excited because he was so, you know, he's legendary, and Whitney and everybody. I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is it. So then Clive decided he had a lot of female, like a whole bunch of female artists directly under Arista, and asked, did I mind going to LaFace? And I'm thinking like, LA and Babyface? Yeah, like, okay. I mean, Clive, LA, Babyface, like this, I would work with it, you know, them or Clive. And so I was honored to work with them. And so, but the way I think Babyface, what happened with that is he asked me to come in and sing on Usher's song Bedtime. Okay. And I did that. And I think that's when he thought, you know, next time he went to Kenny to LA after I sang on the Usher song and said, why don't we just sign her? Gotcha. You know, so then he grabbed me off of Arista. And then
as I say, then the next episode, right? That's all.
Yeah.
Because I know also now you're a bilingual singer. What didn't you like you do? I know that did you do Selena? Did you redo Selena's songs, or what was the Selena relationship or thing there?
Well, I have some of my best friends are Mexican. So they were always trying to teach me songs in Spanish and stuff. Gotcha. But I did a Pocahontas. I did a Pocahontas song called "If I Never Knew You" with Jon Secada. So we did it in English. We also did it in Spanish. Right. And my friend who is Mexican, she sat in the studio with me and made sure I pronounced everything correctly. And it's funny because I feel like when I did the Spanish version, I cut that faster than I did the English version.
Really?
And I don't really speak Spanish, but I can sing. I can sing in Spanish.
Oh my goodness! You know what?
Yeah.
Much respect on that, sister. Much respect, because there's times I have an upcoming project where I'm going to for my first time sing a song in Portuguese with a Brazilian. Ooh. So I'm right now learning, you know, I speak my Portuguese enough to communicate, but to sing it like you just said, it's another whole kind of thing.
Well, that's good that you can speak it some, so that helps. The fact that you can speak it, because I can't speak Spanish. I can try, but it's not good.
Hey, but you did it, it's recorded, and that's, you know, much respect on that.
You know what else I did in another language? I sang with Josh Groban. On stage, we did the song "The Prayer," and we did it in English and Italian.
Oh
So
my goodness!
I got to sing with Josh Groban in Italian.
Now,
And the way the
yeah, tell us about that. Go ahead.
What happened was Josh and Celine Dion was supposed to sing together, and she had to back out the last minute. And this was actually in Vegas for what's the guy who owns the Wynn Hotel?
Mm-hmm. I forgot his name.
So it was for him. And they were supposed to sing together. And at the last minute, Celine Dion couldn't do it. So David Foster, they asked me, could you jump in and do it? So I had to literally learn the song in Italian quickly and jump on stage with Josh Groban.
Come on. So wait, when you say quickly, how long did you have before to learn the whole song in Italian?
It wasn't, I know it was right away. So it wasn't even a full week when I found out.
Go ahead.
It was like really fast. I can't remember how many days it was.
Wow. Right on. I mean, you should see this line lining up with the word respect and go ahead. It's like.
Yeah, when we rehearsed it, a little bit of it is on YouTube. So if you type in Josh Groban and Shanice, you can hear us rehearsing it on YouTube.
Another duet that I love so much, Shanice, and I actually was watching it this morning. It's your duet in the Redwoods with Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I mean, as though like millions of us have heard that song from Kenny over the years, and we still love Kenny's version. And look at me already going into there's a different thing here. But when you all did this duet, and ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it on YouTube yet, it's Kenny Loggins, Shanice Wilson, Redwoods concert. Check it out.
Yeah.
Girl, let me tell you something. It did that presentation and that performance put a whole nother thing on an already incredible tune. What was that experience like when you put your Shanice-ness on that classic?
It was such a great experience because I walked into it. I'm a fan of Kenny Loggins. Like, I feel like his voice, like he could sing R&B, pop, country, like everything. So just to be up on stage with someone that's as talented as he is, and it was magical. It was a lot of fun. I remember that day, the weather was nice. The atmosphere was just beautiful. And once again, I didn't know the words. I literally had the words on stage. I was like,
right there on the floor. I got you.
I had it on the floor.
I understand.
But we pulled it off. We did.
Come on now. That's right. And y'all's ad-lib part on the vamp of that tune. Oh my goodness.
Thank
you. It was like what we used to say old school. It was like peanut butter and jelly. It just was perfect. Just, much respect. Now, tell me please about one thing that we all have respected is the honesty that you've brought to your life. The life of through the reality show that you and your incredible husband Flex, much respect to Flex and his career and the joy he's brought us through his artistry as well. Thank you, brother. And when you all did the reality show, how did that come about? Was that something that was reached out to you and that experience?
It was actually my idea.
Okay.
In 2007, I made a vision board and I wrote a check to myself for $15 million and I wrote a reality show on it. And I had like other things on my vision board, but I also had Oprah Winfrey's photo on my vision board as well. I mentioned in 2007, I said to my husband, let's do a reality show. And at the time he was like, no. He said, because if I do a reality show, he felt like that if he did a reality show, people wouldn't like take him serious as an actor anymore. Mm-hmm. So he didn't want to do it. So we had gone through some challenging times, in our marriage and in our lives. So he's a friend of ours. His name is Corey Taylor. He reached out to Flex and he said, hey, why don't you do a show? And so he convinced Flex to finally do it.
Okay.
So I told Flex, I said, why don't we shoot it ourselves? So my cousin had a production crew that we used, brought in the production crew, and we shot our own sizzle reel, and we went up to OWN Network, pitched it. We partnered up with Lynch Dyson Productions, and that was our first meeting. We walked out of the meeting. We weren't even outside of the building. We got a phone call from the network saying, "Don't take it anywhere else." Like we didn't get to meet with BET. We didn't get to meet with MTV. Like it was the first network we met with.
Come on now. Come on.
They wanted it.
Come on.
So that's how it happened.
I mean, now can we say that is something that was supposed to happen?
Yeah, definitely.
At least it feels that way. You know what I mean? You have your vision board.
I have my vision board set up, and
yes,
it happened. It happened 7 years later, but it happened.
But still, thank you. You know, and the fact that, because I've heard it in other, you know, just in conversation and through communication with others, the respect that the public has for, like I'm repeated again, the honesty that you and your husband brought. And through that honesty, once again, that string of positivity, you and your husband were able to help so many others.
Yeah. And I think that was the whole purpose of doing the show.
There you go.
Yeah, because at first, I'm not going to lie, when they put out the trailer before the show aired, and I watched the trailer, I had like a sick feeling in my stomach.
Yes.
Because I was being so truthful about what I was dealing with. And then I thought to myself, I said, am I making a mistake? Like, should I have really said that on television? Mm-hmm. And so after the show aired, the messages that we were getting from people, the fans, literally, this lady at church cried on my shoulder and told me that she recently lost, that at that time she had lost, her and her husband lost their jobs, their home, everything. And mm-hmm. she was going to kill herself. She wanted to die. She was going to commit suicide. And she said, our show saved her life, because by watching our show and watching how, as a family, how we pulled together and we made it through,
exactly.
she said it literally saved her life. So I said, okay, God, that was the whole purpose.
Yes.
You know, to help others.
Come on. And you know what? Let me ask you this. You just mentioned 7-year period, right? From the time that you got the phone call,
yeah,
and that it actually, you and Flex, during that time, what kept that positivity going? What took you through 7-year wait?
Well, we didn't go through our challenging time for 7 years. It just took me 7 years.
No, between yeah. Gotcha.
So when we did go through the hard times, I think what got us through is prayer. I was on my knees my knees were hurting. I was on my knees so much praying. Right. So I think prayer and just knowing that we're going to make it through this. I had to keep telling myself, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. You know, I had my days where I did cry. I did have doubts, you know, and, but, you know, we held on to each other. Like we lost, you know, a lot of the material things at that time we lost, but we had each other to hold on to. So we kind of just encouraged each other during that time. Prayed.
There you
Flex
go.
was a comedian, so he would always find humor in everything, even in this. And he would crack jokes and, you know, so that's how I threw it.
That's how. Come on,
and
now.
Friends. We had good people around us as well. Good, our family. You know, our family was there to help and support. So
encourage. You just encouraged us again. I'm talking about through what we just talked about, from your beginnings in your young age through your career, then through your record deals, and you were so open to explain about that time and the time of Broadway, and then learning your new developments of your own self of, hey, I can sing in other languages, Spanish and Italian. at the drop of a hat. I can do things, you know, more than learning more about yourself. And then the honesty through the reality show and what you've just encouraged us with again. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the Positivity Posse is all about.
Yeah.
None of us have all of us, I should say, have something or some things that we are dealing with in our life. Right. Some of us, all of us have moments where we are going through a thing of, hey, you know what? Wow, what's this all about? Is this ever going? But it's moments and story that we hear stories like Sister Shanice is sharing with us again, that she showed through her reality show, that she just gave us over her career, that gives us those strings of positivity, y'all. I just had to do a positivity commercial because I felt it in my soul.
Thank you. I needed that. I needed that. Thank you.
So, you know what? I don't know if I'd like to hear about during that time of R&B. In my opinion, Shanice, you are one of the queens of the original and the latest R&B that I consider R&B. Okay, and the time of which that we're talking about with Gerald Busby and Babyface, and when music was just coming at us back to back. In my opinion, you are one of the singers of R&B, of singing. Now, in that time, and I've talked to a couple of other of your female counterparts of that era, being a female in that industry at the time, was it difficult? Was it up and down? Was it something that was challenging with your other male R&B counterparts, or the projection of the female R&B singer at that time?
At that time, no, it wasn't challenging. At that time, it was female artists, was, you know, R&B female artists, I think were doing their thing, things at that time. But I think for me, what could have been challenging is, first of all, the industry is, you know, it can be dark.
Yes.
And you were talking about positivity. A lot of times, you know, the audience wants to hear positivity, but sometimes the labels want you to be a little more. My challenge was the label wants you to be a little more raunchy, you know.
Yeah.
And so that could have been, I think that was a challenge that I had. Maybe I thought I was too clean, too good. I had a record executive tell me, and this is the honest to God truth. He said, your image is too clean. He said, we need to create something negative around you so that we can get people talking, you know. Mm-hmm. People start bad rumors, like, because they feel like bad rumors travel faster than if you do something positive. Mm-hmm. People notice that when people do negative things, it seems like you get more press than if you're doing something great or positive. So the label was trying to actually come up with something like negative about me that they could create just so that we could get the audience to like tune into the album.
Right.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? So at one point we never did it. We never did it. But at one point I was sitting there like, maybe they're right. And I'm sitting there like, okay, what can I make up about myself? What can I'm like trying to make up something bad about myself. You know? That's right. So I feel like that was a challenge that I had. Mm-hmm. And then I always had my family with me. So as a kid, you know, I was 11 when I signed. So my mom and my aunt, they managed me along with Bill Dern. Then I had Bill Dern at one point. He was my old manager. But I'm saying this to say, I don't think the labels like when you're protected by your family, because they want to control. They want to be able to control you, and that was an issue that I had to as well.
I got you, because you know what, and I'm co-signing 100% on that, because a lot of people don't realize that this is the music business, and on the outside looking in, there is, even in the business, there is do I want to use the word dichotomy? There's a tug of war. There's a dissension a lot of times between the business of music and the artistry of music, you know? And I really respect yourself and other artists who you had that sense of, I'm staying true to who I am,
Right.
what my artistry is all about. As a female songwriter at that time, is that another whole, because we know and love Shanice as the performer, as a singer, but you're also a songwriter. So that side of the music that came in with the publishing and all of that kind of stuff, was that in itself another education realm?
Wait, what's your question? Doing the writing, was that?
Yeah, like the other side, as Shanice Wilson as the singer, and you were just mentioning about that time of dedicated to your artistry as the artist yourself, but then you're also an accomplished songwriter. Not just singer, but you're a songwriter too. Yeah. So learning that side of the business, as okay, I write my song, but now I have to publish it. How do I protect it? That education. How did that education for us as a songwriter come into play?
Yeah, well, writing came natural for me. Because I when I was 8 years old, I used to sit in my closet, and my cousin and I used to pretend like we had a studio. Okay. And we would record ourselves into a cassette, at 8 years old, writing songs. So when I did the singing, then the writing just naturally came along with it, because that's just what I naturally just wanted to do. And and then I did start, I did learn about like how publishing works, and I noted and I learned that being a recording artist, okay, you do well being a recording artist, but you do even better when you write your own music, because then you have your publishing lives forever. I mean, I still get checks for I Love Your Smile, because I co-wrote I Love Your Smile, and I'm still getting those residuals. So
I got
songwriting, if you have the passion to write and you can write, I highly recommend singers to write on their music, because I'm still receiving checks from my songwriting.
Right on, Shanice. Right on. And I know some of your, I'm going to say your counterparts in this whole 80s, 90s R&B that you all created and gave that beautiful art that you gave us over those decades. Teddy Riley and Babyface have done this back and forth battle, with social media, all out of love and artistry, of course.
Yeah.
We're loving it on both sides. Much respect to both of these gentlemen for what they're doing, but it also has generated worldwide a conversation of where and what happened to R&B.
See, that's what I like. I like the fact that we're doing all this, because it's actually bringing R&B back to the front. Like it's bringing R&B back. I think for a minute R&B was kind of pushed to the side. Hip hop took over, and I'm a big hip hop fan, by the way. So I love hip hop.
Yeah.
But I feel like people weren't respecting R&B, and I don't think it was so much. I honestly think it was the labels, because the 90s concerts, they sell out. All those 90s concerts.
Yes.
So it showed you that the fans want to hear R&B, but the record companies was kind of like, oh, that's old school, or that's push that to the side. But now with the internet being like right now, with the internet being the way it is, R&B is like, it's back.
Come on now.
It's back.
Yeah.
That's why Teddy Riley and Babyface had over 4 million views.
Exactly. And you know what? You brought up a good point, because I'm an old head. Yeah, I've been labeled an old head, right? But I agree with you that I don't really think that it's the public that changed it. I have my feeling, and then growing up in this business enough to know to say, no, it's the machine that had a lot to do with it, because like you just brought out, you get a concert of the 90s legends that are still performing and still getting down. These people are buying the tickets, going to the shows, still loving the music. So there's still an audience. There's still so what do you think? What do you think that us as the public, what can we do more of? Or, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but this is just what goes through my head. Is it more than what us as the public, maybe we can do more to demand this? Is we can go and buy the 99-cent singles or the $15 download.
That's what the public can do. Like when someone has a song, purchase it. Like people are downloading it for free, and that takes away from the artist and from, stop trying to get songs for music for free and actually purchase it. Back in the day, one thing I can say that I missed, like in the 90s, you had to actually go into the store and buy that CD. Now you can get it free online. You can actually look on YouTube and rip it from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have, people feel like they don't have to buy it anymore. And that's the downfall about it. But if people continue to support, artists and actually purchase the music, then we can keep this thing going.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Is Shanice working on a new project right now? Tell me what Shanice is doing right now, musically.
I actually have a single that people can actually download right now called He Won't. It's on all digital platforms, and I'm about to release a ballad. So I'm just putting now. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah,
there you go.
You
that's all right. We got this. You were just at the point where you were saying about the new release.
Yes. So the music is out. I have a single called He Won't. You can purchase that now on all digital platforms. And I have a ballad that I'm going to release soon, probably in a month or so, called Holding On. Right on. And it's an inspiring, the lyrics are very inspiring. And it kind of is just encouraging people to hold on during the hard times. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier.
That's right. That's right. See, back again, that's that thread of positivity that I'm going to say that Shanice-ness that you bring through your artistry, through the music of it all, and with and also now outside of music, I believe that you are also have a line of cosmetics that you're doing, or tell me about that.
I have a lipstick line called Smile by Shanice, and you can go to smilebyshanice.com and purchase your lipstick. I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing the Smirk Red.
Right on.
I wanted to take my song Smile and do a line because for one, I am obsessed with cosmetics. Like I love makeup. People would always ask me, if you weren't a singer, what would you be? And I'm like, I would probably be a makeup artist because for some reason, I'm just in love with makeup. When I go into a makeup store, it's like a kid in a candy store. I go crazy. So I wanted to have my own lipstick, but I wanted to put out something that was safe. So it's non-toxic, it's vegan, it hasn't been tested on animals. So I finally found a product that works for me, and it's on my website.
Go ahead and give me that website again. What's the website?
Smilebyshanice.com. And it's long lasting too. It does not, you can have it on and it won't come off. You can drink something, eat, kiss your husband, and it won't come off. And you have to put makeup wipes or like Vaseline, but just you don't have to keep applying it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. Are your children, are they doing their artistic thing too? There's something like singing and performing, because you're a dancer also.
I love dancing. Oh my God. As a matter of fact, you know what? I love dancing so much. To be honest with you, we didn't talk about this.
No, go ahead.
And then I'm gonna tell you about my kids, because they love singing. Yeah. But I was a dancer on the show Kids Incorporated back in the day that Fergie was on, and Rashawn Patterson. I was Mario Lopez and I were the backup dancers, but I was also the keyboard player. Mario was the drummer, and I don't know if you've seen the show, but it was a really big show called Kids Incorporated. It was a big kid show. Yeah. And so I was hired as a dancer at that time. I wasn't even singing on the show.
Yeah.
So dancing is definitely something that I love. And that was one thing. The record company didn't like that I was dancing. They said,
really?
You gotta be, they said, you gotta be either this big ballad singer and sing like Whitney Houston, like do the big Whitney songs, or if you dance, you gotta be like Janet Jackson did the dancing, you know, and stuff like that. They said, they were telling me I had to pick either one, be the singer or the dancer. And I was frustrated because I said, why can't I do both? Like I really enjoy doing both. Why can't I come out and sit on the stool and sing a ballad and then get up and do an up-tempo and have some fun and dance?
Mm-hmm.
But they said that me doing that confuses people. It's like, you got to be either one or the other, which I always disagree. Now look at Beyonce. She's killing it.
Killing it with that.
Killing it with the dancing and the singing.
Because wasn't there a time, or was there a project where you and Janet Jackson were like either almost toured or worked or something? What am I mistaken in that?
No, we were both signed on the same record company.
Same label, got you.
Okay. Yeah. We were both on A&M Records.
Right, because when you mentioned J-Lo doing her thing, I know Janet was killing it with that as well, you know.
Yeah.
And oh man, I could just see Shanice. Yeah.
My kids, they love, my daughter loves singing and acting. She wants to be a singer and actress. She's actually in college right now. She goes to a community college out here taking drama.
Oh,
so, yeah, she loves to sing. My son, he loves to sing as well. And he loves to write. He writes really good music. But he said he does it, he said, but his passion is basketball.
Okay.
So he plays basketball. He plays for his high school.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's getting tall. He's like 6 feet.
What?
6 feet tall right now.
And you know what? I mean, because Flex is what I recall a very athletic brother too. I mean, he can do his thing. He's a basketball player and
Flex actually played in college. He played college basketball. So yeah, Flex was really good ball.
Your
but
son
now
is your son Imani?
My son is Elijah, and then my daughter's Imani.
Imani's your daughter, okay, but your son is in his DNA, going through that.
Yeah.
Getting this game together.
Exactly. And he's going to be super tall. He already wears a size 12 shoe.
Go ahead, man. You know what, Shanice, what advice can you give the young artist today? That one that's in their bedroom or in their garage, that's, you know, different from back when even I was coming into the game in the 70s and early 80s, where but they're in their garage, they're buying their new computer to download, making their music right now, and may feel like, you know what, is there any end to this? Is there something I can really do with this? What can you give that artist, that young artist, that new generation today?
What I would like to say to the new generation is be true to who you really who you are. Don't try to fit in and everybody else is doing this style, so I'm going to do this style. You know, really know who you are as an artist, and work on your craft. Like, you know that it's not going to happen overnight. For some people, it may. Justin Bieber sang a couple songs on YouTube and became the biggest star in the world. So, but I'm saying, don't think for everybody. Everybody's journey is different. So don't give up. Work really hard and never stop. Like never stop believing in yourself. And don't sell your soul.
Yes,
don't sell your
soul. Put that in quotes. I got you.
Yes, and you know what? And take advantage of the internet. Like when I got my record deal, you had to get, you know, the approval from like a record executive, or, you know, and it was really hard to get a deal back then. But now you can put your music up on Apple Music. You could you know, do YouTube videos, and you don't have to wait on an executive to tell you if you're good or not. You can actually promote yourself and market yourself, and you don't have to wait. So I would advise, you know, people out there to start a YouTube page, or, you know, and just put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there. That's right, Shani. And you know what? I know that your spiritual journey has meant a lot to you too.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I think I'm a church girl. So
Okay.
you know, when I was a little girl, I sang in a James Cleveland's choir when I was like 8 years old when I first came out here.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
I just had some really good people in my life that would always take me to church. My mom, you know, my family are believers, and I also had an adopted like mom. She passed away. Her name was Ruth, I was in church, like literally, she used to babysit me, and I was in church all the time, like Monday through Sunday. I was always in church. Gotcha. I sang in so many different choirs. So yes, I think growing up in church and just seeing, not just growing up in church, just seeing like what God has done in my life, you know, just having that personal relationship with God and knowing for myself, not just because somebody tells me this is what you got to do, you know. I've seen miracles take place in my life. So yeah, that has helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Whoo, you know what? Hey, I have a feeling that we could go on and on and on with this. And you know what, Shanice, I'm just going to tell you again, thank you for coming by. I wish that there
Thank
was.
you for having me.
Oh man, and when you have a chance to look back over this and you can see all this love that is streaming on this stream about.
Oh, I wish I could see it.
What did you
everybody.
What do you want to say to your fans right now, Shanice, before we go? Because they're asking right now.
Yes, I would like to say to the fans, like, thank you so much for supporting me over the years, because I still sing to this day because of you. If it wasn't for you guys supporting me, I wouldn't be able to do what I love. So I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you to everybody for your support. And I mean that for real.
Yes. Well, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to close this. I don't, because this positiveness that I knew was going to happen when Miss Shanice came on here with us today.
Wait, let's talk about our blue, how we matched today and didn't even know it.
Hey, you know what? That's a stone cold trick, ain't it? I'm like,
no, blue and white too.
Blue and white, you know. That's hey, you know, sometimes it's just gonna happen. You know, we don't know what happens and why it does. You know, but love to everybody. I know Sis Wanda's watching, the Vaughn family, everybody's watching today.
I got to give a shout out to the Vaughn family and give a shout out to my mom, Krista, my aunt Penny, everybody out there that's watching. I can't see all the comments, but yes, to my family out there that's watching, hi, love you guys, love you.
That's right, that's right. And you know what, y'all, we're gonna try to get Miss Shanice back on her schedule. I know is incredible, but we want to hear more. We want, she's part of our positivity posse. And I just want to thank you all again, Facebook Live, for joining us every Saturday and Sunday. We have tomorrow, Miss Bonita Bo Money that's joining us. And for the next, I know if we're booked for the next 2 months with people who are coming to share their artistry, their message of positivity with you. And I just want to give my words of praise once again for the lovely, talented, positive Miss Shanice Wilson, who took her time today. Thank you again, my sister. God bless you. God bless Rex, your children, your generationally, everybody.
Oh, just same to you.
Like God, I always say, we're going to
your family.
I'm sorry?
I said, God bless you and your family, and keep spreading positivity.
You know what I like to say? I always like to say, come get some of this positivity on you. Y'all, just take a shower in it, bathe in it, and then just sprinkle it off on other people. You know, we can do that. It may sound wild to some folk, but I truly believe it. I love you. I thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next time on the Victor Brooks Show. Peace and blessings.